44 years ago this month, a young correspondent here at CBS News persuaded his bosses to let him travel the back roads of America in search of the kinds of stories that didn't make the front pages.
We can meet a few people and hear a few stories and send back some postcards to Walter Cronkite.
The correspondent was Charles Kuralt, and he would meet quite a few people, sending back some 600 stories in his On the Road series. On every subject under the sun,
He said he was the best, and I trusted him.
the series was supposed to run 7 weeks, but it was so popular it continued into the 1980s as Charles traveled more than 1 million miles through every state in the Union, wearing out 6 motorhomes along the way. On the Road became a Friday tradition here on the CBS Evening News, and on this Friday, we are happy to tell you we are bringing the tradition back with Steve Hartman. Tonight, Steve is on the trail of a mystery that has puzzled folks for a quarter of a century.
It appeared in the middle of the Susquehanna River, near a town in the middle of Pennsylvania called Dauphinboro.
I remember it very well because the phone started ringing.
They said there's a statue out in the river.
It certainly attracted a lot of attention.
Traffic was stopped going in both directions. You couldn't get anywhere.
According to news reports at the time, drivers got so distracted, they started running into each other.
Don't stop on the westbound side of the highway. If they do want to stop, we prefer that they would stop and get completely off the road before they get out to view the statue.
And it was a statue, by the way, but not just any statue. This huge edifice that seemed to just emerge from the river that morning and still greets commuters today was none other than Lady Liberty herself. How on earth did it get here? No one would claim responsibility at the time. But now, 25 years later, it is a mystery no more.
I kept it quiet. That was fun. That was part of the whole fun of the whole thing.
The mastermind was a local lawyer named Gene Stilt, who built it in a friend's garage to honor the other Statue of Liberty.
It was going to be the 100th anniversary, and it'd be nice to do something here.
Made from plywood and Venetian blinds to cut down on wind resistance, Gene put it together himself and then recruited a handful of accomplices to sneak it onto an old railroad pier in the middle of the night.
I still want to know, is the statute of limitations up for anything we make?
The statute of limitations is passed, so.
What they did was not only technically illegal, it was also highly ill-conceived.
It's the most dangerous section of the local river.
I begged you not to go.
When we got it up and when we saw it from the highway, it was like, wow, that wasn't a bad idea. It worked.
The statue stood for 6 years until a strong gust of very unpatriotic wind blew her off her pedestal, which could have easily been the end of this story. But by 1992, folks here had grown so fond of this idea of having their own Statue of Liberty, they collected $25,000 to build a replica of the replica.
This one, sturdier, taller, and 8 times heavier, has been able to hold her ground for 14 proud and glorious years.
It was liberty. The community rallied around it.
It's pretty cool.
And if these guys have their way, she'll continue to reign over this river as long as freedom itself. Steve Hartman, CBS News, Dauphinboro, Pennsylvania.